What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Watchtower podcast, the non-Jehovah's Witnesses Watchtower podcast. This is episode 217. What else is on? Yep. So tonight we're going to be taking a jaunt through what else is going on while everybody and their mother is staring at one central event and trying to find any little detail or just listen to the same details 500 times. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the other stuff going on that I think we should all be aware of. So if you're planning on having my opinion of all that stuff, you're not going to get it tonight. So we're going to be taking a look at everything else. And usually when something flashes and everybody's staring in one spot, there's other things going on that they're trying to get done behind the scenes. So we're going to take a look at some of those things that we got going on. So we're going to be covering things like some updated stuff for the draft for this upcoming UN cybercrime treaty. I haven't seen pretty much anybody talking about this, which is unfortunate because it's basically the WHO pandemic treaty, but for all things digital. And there's some serious problems. So we're going to take some updated look at what they got going on with that. That's coming out in just that meeting's coming up in just like 2 weeks, actually, at the end of the month. So yeah, we're going to be taking a look at that. We also got some stuff. Let's see, when it comes to, I don't even remember, AI textbooks. We got some AI textbooks that are now starting to come out for more indoctrination in the school system than we already got going on. We got some stuff when it comes to technology regarding the creation of human skin for robots. They've created like actual tissue from human skin to put on robots and stuff. So we're going to be kind of taking a look at that. There's also this new thing coming out. It's made of spider silk, and it's like a sensor that you can just put on your finger, and you don't even feel it, and it's able to monitor your health and everything like that. We're going to take a look at what's going on with that. Plus, big one at the end. I have to put it at the end. I have to try and usually bury the medical stuff towards the end of the show. It's a better shot of me not getting hit by YouTube. But we've got some serious updates when it comes to a couple of bird flu summits that are coming up in October, and one of them's in Washington, D.C. And the stuff that they're putting out about that is, you're not going to want to miss that. Let's just say you're going to want to be updated on what's going on with that. So yeah, that's what we're going to be covering. It's a few things in between and stuff like that. So we'll be doing that. So good stuff there. If this is your first time, though, this is what we do on Tuesdays and Saturdays. We get together and we watch for the signs of the return of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We don't know exactly when he's coming, but we will know the season of his return. And how will we know the season of his return? We will be looking at the convergence of end time signs, prophetic signs that will be happening post rapture into the day of the Lord. But we can see them all coming together. We can see the beast system being built in front of our eyes. And so, yeah, we've got some things to look at, because right now, you don't have Jesus, you don't have any hope. And it's tough. It's tough out there. It is definitely tough. So yeah. So thank you for joining me, whether you're watching live or watching later. Thank you for spending your time here. All right, let's see what you guys are up to. See how y'all are doing in the chat. Let's take a look here. Find a random place here. Let's go right here, I guess. Sunshine 2007. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. It's Tuesday. Yes, it is Tuesday. I thought it was Saturday for some reason. It's been a weird couple days. I'll tell you what. Good to see you, Sunshine. Hopefully you're having a good week. Thanks for spending your Tuesday here. Kathy is here as well. Well, hey, Zach. Well, hey, Kathy. Good to see you. Kathy B is in the house. Good to see you. Fondly Green is here. God bless you. Well, good to see you. Thanks for being here, Fondly. It's always glad that you're here. Asset is here as well. We got one of the tools, the toolbox. Good to see you, Asset. Thanks for being here. Thanks for doing what you're doing, helping me out. Definitely appreciate it. We got Jason Garza. Good to see you. Non-JW. Yes, non-JW. Always got to put that in there. It's amazing. It's amazing. I got it in the intro video. I say it at the very beginning of the thing, and you can always tell when somebody doesn't actually watch. They just go in and ask the question, is this Jehovah's Witness? It's like, well, maybe if you watched, I don't know, the first 10 seconds, you'd have your answer. Just saying. Good to see you, Jason. You don't have that problem, though. You got it. Let's see. We got Kathy Hill is here as well. All the Kathys are in the chat. Good to see you, Kathy Hill. Hopefully you're doing. See, we got another Kathy right here. Kathy Caruso. Good to see you. Is this like the meeting of the Kathys? I think we might need to change the podcast. There's something with Kathy in there. I know. Good to see you, Kathy. Thank you for being here. Kelly is here at the dog picture. I love the dogs. Good to see you. Hopefully the dog's watching too. I like being friendly with dogs. We got Mr. Snowwolf. Good to see you. And hopefully you're having a good weekend. Thanks for spending your Tuesday night here. Jessie is here. She's got the dog picture as well. Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. Hopefully everybody and their dogs are doing all right. Coco Bear is here. If you guys need some virtual snacks, see Coco. She's got the pizza in the back. So go see Coco if you are hungry for tonight. Mindy is here with the big pink hand. It's always good to see you, Mindy. Thanks for being here. We got Tiffany Zacharu. Well, I don't think I've ever been called that, but good to see you, Tiffany. Hopefully you're doing all right. We got Stephanie as well, and she is apparently making her husband. I'm not a therapist, so I can't help you out, Stephanie. Sorry. Not as Warless here. Good to see you, and hopefully you're doing all right, and everything's going all right for you. Let's see. We got Glory to God Homestead. Good to see you. Yes, glory to God for sure. Caterlyn is here. So yeah, if you guys need some virtual cookies, go see Caterlyn in the back. She's got those. Let's see. We got Dustin Holt as well. Thanks. Finally, somebody. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Finally, somebody. Yeah, I'm here. Good to see you, Dustin. We got Gwen here as well. Gerard is here. We got Paul Hindle from Down Under. Well, good to see him. We got Kimberly Ward Evans as well. Shay Shay's here. We got Afra Harper. We got Elena Victory. We got Ray. Who do we got? We got Ann Cooper. Let's see. Sunshine is here. Am I missing anybody? And there's my mom as well as Southern Sunshine. So good to see you guys. But I'll pick you out. It's not that I don't like you. It's just we got other things to talk about, a lot to talk about, and we don't want to be here all night. I'm sure nobody wants to be here all night. So let's go ahead and get into some housekeeping.
Housekeeping?
I think you're sleeping.
Housekeeping?
All right, so housekeeping, usual spiel. If you guys can, like, share, subscribe, get this out to as many people as you can. It's not about views, not about butts and seats, but it is about getting the warning out to people, getting people to Jesus. That's how we do this, and that's why we do this, ultimately. And without the algorithm and stuff works, liking, sharing, and subscribing does help it reach more people. Our goal, of course, is to try and answer some questions and ultimately lead people to the gospel of Jesus Christ, the only hope that we have in this world, our only hope, and it is a good one. And so we need to be sharing it with all that we can. So if you guys can do me a solid, like, share, subscribe, that'd be great. Also follow me, Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram. Those are my backup channels. If I get booted off YouTube, we'll be backup live streaming over on Rumble. Odyssey is an emergency platform. It's there just in case things go very, very, very south, but it is there just in case. So if you have an account, you might as well follow me there. Don't worry, you're not missing anything exclusive. I don't do paywall or exclusive stuff or anything like that. So it's just there for an emergency platform. Telegram, I post updates, announcements, news, things, and anything in between. So it's probably good if you have a Telegram account to follow me there. If I get booted off YouTube or something like that, I'll announce it on Telegram, and then I post little things here and there that I can't necessarily throw up on YouTube or Rumble or anything like that. So make sure you guys follow me there. And of course, the one-stop shop for all questions. If you have a question about what's going on, if say I'm not live streaming, I didn't announce it, and it's not on Telegram, I will most likely make sure to update the website. WretchedWatchmen.com is up and running, so make sure you guys go there. Of course, we are simulcasting, multi-streaming to YouTube, Rumble, and the website right now as well. So good stuff. Let's see. I got a couple of announcements coming up Friday. We got another episode 14, I think. Episode 14, Below the Surface. It's 8 a.m. Central over on Hope for Our Time. So make sure you guys go and check that out. That'll be posted again, 8 a.m. Central, Hope for Our Times. So go check that out. I'll be going over some stuff when it comes to organoid intelligence and stuff like that. So go check that out. Let's see here. We got the new series. It's going to be starting up on Saturday, Lord willing. We're going to be starting a new series. It's called Psy War. I'm going to be just kind of going over different areas of things like mind control, and mental manipulation and identity hijacking and stuff like that. So it's a very large subject. I don't want to make it a huge series, so I'm just going to pick some things here and there and just kind of go broad spectrum on it. So that'll be starting up Saturday. So yeah, if you've been waiting for the new series, that's coming up on Saturday. And then last announcement tomorrow, I'm doing a new, it's not a series, but it's just a new style of video on the specific subject. It's not going to be like every week or anything like that. It's just going to be when I can get them out. It's a new thing, new show called Showtime. And so that'll be out tomorrow at noon Central. Basically what I'm going to do, because I know I find it really fascinating, and I know others find it fascinating, regarding predictive programming. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an episode for different movies and TV shows that I believe have significant predictive programming qualities, whether it comes from things governance and political to technology, to religious stuff and things like that. So I'm going to break it down and give a little information about what's going on when it comes to some of the predictive programming. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for that. And the first episode is going to be about the Matrix, and there's a lot to to break down on that. It's a very significant predictive programming movie in my book, and so I'll be doing that. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. So good stuff. And last but not least, if you guys want to support what I do and allow me to keep doing what I'm doing, my channel is not monetized. I don't make anything from ads, views, or anything like that. It runs solely off of your guys' donations, your generous donations. So if you guys would like to support what I do and allow me to keep going, I do have donation links down below: CashApp, Venmo, and Give, Send, Go. And yeah, if the Lord places it upon your heart, I appreciate all the support and donations and prayers and everything like that. You guys are the ones that allow me to do this. And truly, I am grateful and thankful that you guys support me. So thank you for that. All right. That's all I got for that. A lot of announcements, I know, but a lot of things going on for sure. All right. And yeah. So we're all done with that. Let's go ahead and get into, and it is Tuesday, since we're doing regular shows back on Tuesday and then switching over on Saturday. So we've got ourselves the usual Wretched Weather Report.
Okay, this does not look good here.
All right. So for the Wretched Weather Report, if you guys don't know, what we do is we take a look at natural events. As we know, things like earthquakes, volcanoes, and storms and weather, stuff like that. All of this stuff is a part of the birth pains, the end times birth pains, and they're going to increase in size and frequency as we go along. So we just keep track of the trends, specifically earthquakes and volcanoes. And if there's storms and stuff going on, I might try to keep updated on it. I'm not a weatherman. I'm not a geologist, but I do the best I can just to keep an eye out of what's going on with the stuff. So for earthquakes this past week, we actually got a lot. If you guys remember last time, we only had 2. We actually have a lot more than that this time. So this past week, large scale earthquakes, which is 5.5 magnitude and up. We had a 5.5 in Ust-Kamchysk Stare, Russia. That's terrible. Olga, please correct me if you're in the chat. I know that was absolutely horrific, but that's the best I got. Then we got a 6.2 in the Bonin Islands, Japan. Then there's another 5.5 in Ust-Kamchysk Stare, Russia. I think that's all I got. So a couple over there in Russia. Then there was a 6.6, the south of Africa. Then there was a 7.1, which is our big one for this week, which was Sangay, Philippines. Then there was a 6.4 in Tofino, Canada. 5.8 in Central East Pacific Rise. 5.7 in Akari, Peru. 5.5 in Rabaul, Papua New Guinea. 5.6 in Tarata, Peru. 5.6 in the Kermadec Islands, New Zealand, and then finishing it off with a 5.8 Hihifo, Tonga, which was yesterday. So that's what we got as far as earthquakes, so a lot more than what we were. And I know Canada, they had that one big one, but they've had quite a few going off in Canada, which is a little different. So a little swarm going on there. As far as volcanoes, excuse me. As far as volcanoes, we have 47 volcanoes actively erupting, which is no change from the last time. And we're looking at 6 in North America, 7 in South America, 2 in Europe, 2 in Antarctica, 4 in Africa, 17 in Asia, and 9 in Oceania. So that's what we got going on with the weather report. Not a whole lot else going on. Of course, we know there's heat waves and stuff. There's a cold thing that hit somewhere. I can't remember. I just skimmed by it and I completely forgot. But I know the animals aren't doing good. I apologize. I shouldn't even have mentioned it if I don't remember where it's at. But there's a cold front somewhere. So, see, I'm not a weatherman. Actually, if you think about it, though, I'm about as on top of it as most weathermen out there. You got 50-50 on their job. So hey, I think I did all right. Okay, that's all I got for the wretched weather report on this. So okay, so as we go along, if you guys have questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. I'll answer some along the way. Make sure you put a question in all caps so my mods can see it, and then they'll throw it to me, and maybe it'll get answered. If you don't put questions in all caps and it doesn't get answered, that may be why. Wow, that may be why it didn't get answered. So make sure you guys follow the rules. Follow the rules. So yeah, that's all we got for that. Man, something is in my throat. Don't know what's going on. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this with our first topic. And we're going to be taking a look at what's going on with the UN Cybercrime Treaty. Man, so if you guys don't remember, I talked about this, I think it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was talking about the UN Cybercrime Treaty, which is basically like the WHO Pandemic Treaty for all things digital. It has to do with trying to combat cyber crime, and that involves diving into the surveillance of people, getting as much information on people as they can, usurping laws in any way that they can to do it, as well as broadening the cross-border cooperation between countries when it comes to obtaining and holding digital information from what they have gathered from us. And so this thing is not good. Excuse me. Man, this thing is not good, but I'm not seeing anybody really talking about it. I'm not seeing anybody that's really bringing it up. So yeah, this is being put on by the UN Cybercrime Committee, which is actually connected to being run by the UN Ad Hoc Committee, which is about their drugs and crime division that they've got going on. And they've got their meeting, which is supposed to be the meeting. If everything goes right, they're going to vote and basically establish this thing coming up July 9th to August 9th. And so it's August 9th that this thing is going to have its vote. There's been a lot of, I guess in the past 2 weeks, there's been a lot of pushback from other countries and stuff regarding some of the stuff in some of the language in the document, but we'll see if it does pass or not. So this is coming up. And if you guys don't remember, this is the cybersecurity treaty that was drawn up by Russia in 2021. Yes, this was Russia that brought in this first draft that introduced this to the UN. It was voted on and agreed to. And then they gave themselves some time in order to etch out all the details of the draft before they do the final vote. So this is Russia's handy doing, which is, again, I always try to make the point. You know, everybody's out there saying, oh, well, Russia's against everything that they're trying to do when it comes to this stuff, but yet they've been leading the way with a lot of the cyber and digital and stuff like that, just like Cyber Polygon is going on again this year as well. So we went over the last time we talked about this, we went over some of the issues specifically regarding Article 24, which includes no mention of requiring prior judicial authorization for surveillance against a person or persons. So ultimately, this thing is basically allowing it. So they pretty much do the same thing now, at least here in the United States, where they have so many backdoor things that they can do to gain digital information on us without judicial review. But this is basically pushing a wide, broad, umbrella over all these countries to do the same thing that they're doing. There's also no requirement for transparency of surveillance technology, new surveillance laws, the location of this stuff, or even the practices that they use. So again, here in the United States, we're pretty much used to this. Again, we got all the stuff laid out that they can do all this stuff without any notification or anything like that. But again, this is more of a broad, centralized document for this, which means there's no need to tell us anything regarding what technology they're using, how they're looking into our stuff, what they're looking into, if they pass any more laws locally or on the UN scale regarding it. They don't have to inform us of this stuff, as well as any of the practices. And on top of that, in Article 24 of this thing, there's no requirement of notification of surveillance to anyone that they choose to watch. So that means it's just free reign. They could be specifically looking into us for something that they think that we're doing, do it for an extended period of time, and then stop doing it, and they would not need to notify us before, during, or after. They can just do whatever they want with it. So that is all in there. We covered that the last time we talked about this. Now, there's a revised version that came out. I think it was June 14th. I believe it was June 14th. That came out regarding the broadening of the definition of electronic data. And this is where things get dangerous and open it up for what we know is coming in the future. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at some of this stuff. And we've got United Nations. Again, this is the ad hoc committee, July 29th to August 9th. It's going to be in New York that this is coming up. So it's just right around the corner. You can see that they've got the official announcement, revised draft resolution right there. That's not the actual draft. We'll take a look at some of the pieces of that in just a second. But we can see that this announcement has taken place. We understand that the United States is fully involved and in this. This is straight from the U.S. Department of State from June 27th. Deborah McCartney, who's the Senior Advisor, Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, is fully involved with this UN Cybercrimes Treaty negotiation to get it done. And if that's not enough for you, at the latest meeting that they just had, you will see that the Vatican is represented and is involved with negotiations as well. You may not be able to see his little sign there, but that is the Holy See. So that is the representative for the Vatican that is involved with these negotiations on this. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some of the definitions for this. Article 2. For the purpose of this thing, what we want to do is we've got A here that says information and communications technology system, which has to do with a program to gather, stores, or perform automatic processing of electronic data, usually with communications, cell phones, texts, phone calls, all that stuff. Anything digital falls under their information and communications, but it's electronic data. That's the big one. Electronic data in their definition. So anytime in this document, if you want to go and read it, it's a long process, but if you want to go and read it, anytime it says electronic data, it's just this broad definition that they give right here on this. And it says electronic data shall mean any representation of facts, information, or concepts in a form suitable for processing in an information and communications technology system, including a program suitable to cause an information and communications technology system to perform a function. What does that mean? Any data, facts, or information that is done through what they deem a communication system, your phone, specifically computers and stuff too, but your phone, everything that we do is through your phone now. Anything that goes through this falls in line with electronic data. So anything that goes through a phone system or a computer system that is digital falls under the category of what they're trying to do with this. And so if we go and we take a look at part of this here, this is Article 28. Search and seizure of stored electronic data. We just went over the definition of what that means. It says each party state shall adopt such legislative and other measures as may be necessary to empower its competent authorities to search or similarly access and an information and communications technology system, part of it, an electronic data store therein, an electronic data storage medium in which the electronic data sought may be stored. What this is that people don't realize is it's not just your phone. You know how in, say, Bitcoin, you can take it and store it on like a thumb drive, an external hard drive, or anything like that, which wouldn't be classified as a communications system. This is now covering that. For all the Bitcoin boys out there that said that this is the way to get around it, nope, UN's coming for you and your Bitcoin. Yeah, not good. And it also says each state party shall adopt such legislative and other measures. So that means anybody who signs on to this thing must adopt these measures similar to what the WHO pandemic treaty says, may be necessary to ensure that where its authorities search or similarly access a specific information and communications technology system or a part of it of this article have grounds to believe that the electronic data sought are stored in other information and communications technology system or part of its territory, and such data are lawfully accessible form or available to an initial system. What does that mean? If they believe that this person is doing something nefarious on a digital system, but they may be storing it on somebody else's system, they now have the ability to go and access that person's stuff as well, because they believe that that first person is committing stuff and is storing things on that information. So this is now no longer just protecting our own stuff, but say you know somebody and they're accusing them, they can now backdoor into your system and get information that way too. They are doing everything that they possibly can. This also goes into establishing C's or similarly secure an information and communications technology system or part of it, or an electronic data storage medium, broad scale. Make and retain copies of those electronic data in electronic form. Maintain the integrity of the relevant stored electronic data. Render inaccessible or remove those electronic data in access information and communications technology system. What does that mean? Well, the right, like here we have the right where you can't search my property under a certain thing. Well, that's out the window now. They can search anything digital that they feel, if they feel that you are committing some type of crime, a cyber crime or digital problem. And so this is just broad sweeping, just total annihilation of any digital privacy, and allows them to search, seize, and accuse you of doing anything regarding it, even if it's offline. If it's on a digital system, it is now classified as electronic data, and they have access to it if they so choose. This is extremely dangerous, and this thing is just a couple weeks, if they so choose, to being put into place. And so this fits perfectly into this shift, the world shift right now to digital and biometric. Everything is going to digital and biometric. And so they need to have some type of centralized one world governance system of all things digital and biometric, similar to like how they have to have one central system for all health that they're trying to accomplish. This is the same thing, but for digital. Once your biometric details are uploaded, it now falls under the electronic data definition of this UN document. What does that mean? Any privacy for your medical records and stuff with a doctor, gone. It's gone. To a certain extent, medical officials would have to hold your information unless there was a specific warrant, judicial issued warrant for something that they believe it is. Well, now everything medical is stored on the computer. It's now electronic data. If they believe that you're doing something, they don't need that warrant anymore. They can just go and get it. So there's no privacy with your doctor anymore. This also falls in line with legal stuff as well. That falls under the line of, between a lawyer and a person. All legal stuff falls in line with this as well. It is all becoming electronic data that falls under the umbrella of this. So it can be seen, taken, and used against you if they deem that you are a criminal or some type of threat. This also covers all information in the area of communications, like text, image, video, everything that you do on your phone and stuff, as well as emerging technology such as data involved in machine learning. So all information that is being used for artificial intelligence is now under this as well. Transaction records for finance, including blockchain networks and CBDCs, will all be a part of this as well. If they deem that you're doing some type of cyber crime, they can wipe your accounts without legal issue. And then, of course, smart device data. And this is not just, again, your phone and stuff. Smart device data allows them to collect information from your smart meters, your smart devices like your smart fridge, and everything like that. Your smart TVs, all content that you've watched and everything. Motion sensors, Ring doorbells, all of that falls in line as electronic data as well. And a lot of people might be thinking, well, why on earth would they need to have access to that? Because again, they have been building an entire digital twin system. And so allowing them access into this information allows them to look into what food you buy and what food you eat, what shows that you watch, learning which way you view things, whether it's political, religious, or anything in between, where you go, doing with motion sensors and everything like that. All that data they now have access to as well. Welcome to the Internet of Things, guys. And now they're making this legal document to be able to protect them when it comes to all this information that they allow to do this. So this is beyond just watching what you do and say. This is learning every little detail and habit of your life. And this info can be used to learn and watch any detail about you, and then they can use it against you if they so choose. If they want to take you out in some type of way, take you down in some type of way, they can use all of this information against you in order to take you down. This will also transfer to virtual world data, allowing a universal cyber law system within a metaverse setting. What does that mean? Basically, this thing not only covers real life, but it also covers if you're doing anything in a virtual world. We understand that they're trying to move people into this metaverse, this virtual world system. I've done stuff on here where RAND and DARPA and all this stuff, they're trying to make it so this virtual world that they want to put people in not only will blend reality where people like psychologically won't even know if they're in a virtual world or a real world anymore. They're trying to develop that system, but also at the same time, they're trying to make it so the virtual world will affect real life events, and real life will actually affect the virtual world, trying to create one virtual and real life world that works together. So whatever you do in the virtual world will actually have repercussions outside and stuff like that. So this document covers both. It covers both. It's future proof. They made it future proof. And what is also huge is the open-endedness of the technology advancement of it. We understand how fast technology is moving forward right now, how quickly all of this stuff is coming out. Basically, everything, once it comes out and is available, it'll automatically just slide underneath this umbrella. They won't need to update it. They don't need to specifically add anything to it. It'll automatically be covered. So if more invasive technology comes out, it will automatically fall into their surveillance, into the data, as well as the collection articles within the UN Cybercrime Treaty. So yeah, this is something, again, I mean, I can't find this anywhere. I think I've seen 2 places talking about this. And nobody has any idea what's going on with this. Nobody has any idea what's coming. If this thing passes, man, they just slid that under the radar and people have absolutely no idea about it. Keep in mind, that's in the document. They're not required to tell you. So I think this is something that they were planning on people not talking about, and it's coming up. So be watching July 29th through August 9th. They've got the meeting coming up, and we'll see if they're actually going to pass this thing. So it's going to be interesting. Oops. Let's see if we got any questions. Shay says, what would they do when someone doesn't have a cell phone, no TV, and he has an old radio? Well, I mean, I've talked about stuff that they have. If they want information on you, they have it. I've talked about the IARPA Haystack program, which is built to basically, if you're off the grid, even living underground, they have the ability to see you, watch you, listen to you. That is a program that they have been working on for a while, and it's active. It's active right now. But the thing is you get to the point now where you're just going to be getting blocked out of certain things. I'm sure they have plans that I'm just not smart enough to figure out, because that's always the thing. What about the people living off the grid that are up in the mountains and stuff like that? How are they going to corral those people? I don't know. I'm sure they have some way of doing it, but I don't know. Let's see here. Mina Loan. Any mention of protection from planted data? No. If the planted data you're talking about is, say they want to take you down, and so they plant something in your device and then use that against you, no mention of that whatsoever in the document that I saw. So and without judicial review, prior notification, warrants, any of that. You see why I'm bringing attention to this thing? You see why? Let's see here. Lisa, have you heard about Facebook cloning people's accounts? They've been doing that since day one. That was the whole point. You have to remember, DARPA was the one that started Facebook, and DARPA is the one that runs the digital twin simulation program. That was why they started Facebook, was to get as much information and feed it into the digital twin system. So that's been going on since day one. So that is nothing new. Nothing new there. Let's see. Coco, do you think your rubber ducky is spying on you? Hey, if it's electronic, which I don't think that's very smart to have electronic rubber ducky. Have you heard? This may be a little off the cuff. Have you guys heard that? It's absolutely just stupid. It's just stupid. The conspiracy theory that there's no such thing as birds. The birds are actually all fake. I've done reports on that. They actually do have drones that look like birds that actually flap their wings and stuff like that. But people think that birds don't actually exist. Every single one is a drone. It is just the stupidest thing I've heard. I wouldn't be surprised if they heard it on like Alex Jones or something, to be honest. But yeah, just had to throw that out there. But no, I don't think my rubber ducky is spying on. Why? How do you know I have a rubber ducky? Coco, are you spying on me? Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. Let's see. Maya, if Biden signs this or these, I'm guessing the document, can Trump reverse it, or is it once signed, always signed? I don't know exactly how that works. I don't know exactly how that works. So that's something that I couldn't find any information on if it's like a come and go type of thing. That's the problem with UN stuff, man. They hide things. Like their website is just a nightmare to try and find anything on there. As it is, I had to spend, I don't know how long, hours trying to find the revised draft because they have a link to it on their UN docs on their website. And then when I clicked on it, it says error doesn't exist. And I'm going, it does exist because a few days ago I had it. And now all of a sudden it wasn't there. And so it's a nightmare to try and find that thing. So, yeah, I don't know. All right, let's keep going. Move on to AI textbooks. Yes, the wonderful world of AI is getting even further into the minds of kids and college kids and schools and institutions and all that stuff. And so they have announced AI textbooks, which is basically another digital program. Here we go. Digital program that has an AI learning tool within it, which you can talk to. It's like a chatbot. It's built from ChatGPT. And it runs this textbook in order to help you, quote unquote, learn. I use the word indoctrination, but this is what they say. So let's take a look. It says Gen AI powered textbooks are rolling out to over 1,000 universities as the tech stirs up education. The questions around generative AI's role in education are far from answered, but the technology is currently making a big entrance into colleges in the form of textbooks. Leading textbooks company Pearson has outfitted its digital textbooks, specifically 50 science titles such as Intro to Biology and Intro to Chemistry, with generative AI study tools. Man, as of this summer, 70,000 students and over 1,000 institutions are already using these AI textbooks, according to Pearson. This fall will mark the first full semester where AI textbooks are the norm at schools and colleges, from Ohio State University to the University of Miami, University of Colorado Boulder, and many more in between. The generative AI capabilities within the Pearson textbooks come in two forms. First, there's a general chatbot students can query with an with any questions they might have about the subject and contents of the book. Next, Pearson incorporated generative AI into the practice questions within the digital textbooks. When students get a question wrong, they're now taken through a brief set of additional questions, powered by, of course, the AI system, meant to lead them to correct answers without telling it to them outright. So this process was inspired by and intended to mimic how a professor, this is key, I'll get to it in just a second. The process was inspired by and intended to mimic how a professor would help a student understand a concept during a one-on-one conversation during office hours. I explained Chris Hess, a former professor and director of AI product management, higher education at Pearson. There's a lot here, but before I break down into it, let's have a little jaunt through their wonderful little video where they're promoting this stuff. Don't you just love how they have all the people just smiling and happy? Oh, I'm sitting here getting my brain turned into mush, and I'm so happy about it because I'm talking to this little AI chat robot. It's so amazing. It's so ridiculous. But yes, this is the direction that shouldn't surprise us. And they were conditioning people for this already when we saw what happened in 2020 when they moved school to virtual learning and all that stuff. Yeah, this is the next step. They were conditioning kids to get ready for it. The reliance on AI and the indoctrination of normalizing AI in everyday life is continuing. I firmly believe that they are doing everything in their power in order to condition people and get people hooked onto using AI for everyday life. Not only at that point is it easier for them to feed fake information, alternate history, propaganda of any type into people's lives, but it makes people lazier, makes people stupider, and it makes people rely on it for everything that they do in life, where they just can't function without it. They can't function properly, just like they did with the phone. Man, you take the phone away from, normally you'd say take the phone away from a teenage girl, but take the phone away from anybody now and watch them go into full panic mode when they don't have it for 30 minutes. They start losing their minds. And so they're trying to do the same thing when it comes to AI. They want everybody to rely on this thing. They're training people to seek knowledge from AI, and they will lead to dependence, ignorance, and propaganda-fueled information. This is the next step. And I talked about this when I had John Prescott on. Schools now have nothing to do, and they haven't had for a long time, let's just be honest. But schools are all about, we're going to tell you what to learn and what we want you to believe, as opposed to how to learn. And they always punish the kids that say how, why, and ask the questions about getting to things. They don't care about those kids. They want to push them over into, well, this is what we're telling you to learn. This is what we're telling you to believe. And so you need to do it. And so the problem is we have so many people now that don't know how to even look things up. They don't know how to find things. They don't know how to use critical thinking in order to, well, this information is telling me one thing, but the real life event doesn't fit the picture of what they're telling me it is. So maybe it's not exactly as black and white as what it says in the book, and things like that. That's a part of learning. That's a part of researching. That's a part of figuring out what's true and what's not. And all of that is gone. And so that's why we have this generation now, my age and stuff like that. That's all just, well, whatever the newspaper says, or whatever the phone says, or whatever Twitter says, or whatever that must be true. And so we're losing all that facet of life. And I think AI is the next step to doing that. There is no critical thinking anymore with this. And not to mention, AI is now going after the jobs of the teacher. Like I said, read in this thing, It says, the process was inspired by intended to mimic how a professor would help a student understand a concept during a one-on-one conversation. At what point is that professor, is that teacher not going to be needed anymore when they could be virtually learning, being taught by an AI program that can basically teach them and replace the teacher? This is something that we've been watching for a long time about AI taking over the jobs of people. We've seen it all over the art industry and the music industry and the movie industry. We see it happening in the warehouses. We see it happening all over the place in finance now and all this stuff. They're starting to get rid of all the lower level traders and stuff because they have AI programs that one AI program can take the job of 50 traders. So they're all losing their jobs and stuff too. Teachers are next. They're coming for you with the AI program. Soon, all school will be virtual with AI teachers. This is the next wave, and they're prepping kids for that transition right now. Prepping it right now. Let's see here. Kathleen, how do you think the rapture will figure into this cyber thing? Are you talking about the cyber treaty? Do you think this would go into full swing before or after the rapture? I mean, they got the vote coming up. I don't know how long it would take between if and when it gets approved and when it would actually go into effect. I'm not exactly sure on that answer. So there's a chance that this treaty could fully go into effect while we're here. Let's see. Asset. What's your opinion of Jeremy Camp? It's just not worth the risk, in my opinion. I've seen some very questionable things with Jeremy Camp, the people that he associates with and works with and stuff, and it's just not worth the risk, in my opinion, for Jeremy Camp. I used to listen to Jeremy Camp. I did. He had some good rock stuff. Even though he's mainly worship, he had some good rock stuff, and I liked it, but I stopped after I found out some stuff. So it's just not worth the risk, in my opinion. Kelly, is there any way to stop your phone from doing updates? I'm the wrong person to ask on that one. I'm not that technologically savvy, honestly. I talk a lot about technology, but actually putting it into practice, I'm probably not the best guy to ask on that. How about the AI Jesus and the AI pastors from Vendog? I've done some videos on that in the past. So if you go through my prior videos, you will see that I've done some videos on that. I talked about the thing in Germany and the AI program, the AI Jesus program on Twitch. And I've talked about all that as well. So I got some videos if you want to go check those out, Vin. Southern Sunshine. Do you think the ginormous, in quotations, insane asylums will come back to take care of the non-compliant and critical thinkers? What's the thing? I can't remember. Is it a lobotomy? Is that what it is? Where they take out part of your brain by going through your eye thing? They used to do those back in the day. I wouldn't be shocked if they brought that stuff back. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if they did that. All right. Let's keep going here. And we're going to take a look at some stuff with this isn't pretty. Let's just be honest. So this is something I've been following for a while, and I try and keep you updated the best I can. And it has to do with the push towards, and I know this sounds ridiculous and people might think I'm losing my mind, but I'm really not. They are really pushing towards creating synthetic humans. They are doing everything that they can to grow humans, to make it so parents can choose how their kids look and design humans. And they're doing things with robotics and synthetic stuff to make synthetic humans. And I mean, it's sick, but this is something that they are absolutely going towards. And Japan just came out with something recently. If you guys don't know, again, kind of like on the predictive programming stuff, things like Terminator and Blade Runner, if you ever seen those things, they're really trying to do that stuff, and they have accomplished said things already. They just not that we're aware of have put it all together. And so it's absolutely possible with what they're trying to do. And so I recently just talked about how they're trying to create computer memory programs that work just like a human's with short-term and long-term memory and everything. But let's look on the outside and take a look at what's going on when it comes to the skin. Okay. Before I even throw this up, there's a chance that you may throw up when you look at this. I'm just going to tell you, this is not a pretty picture. But this is what it looks like, this skin stuff. So warning, you may lose your lunch or Coco's Pizza or Caterlin's cookies. So Japan researchers create facial robot covered with living skin. Stuff is nasty. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take that off, and we're going to go ahead and move on to this part here. I think you guys saw it. Okay. Yeah, so this is perforation type anchors inspired by skin ligament for robotic face covered with living skin. That is the actual research paper. We're not going to look at that because, man, even I have a hard time understanding some of the stuff that they say in there. Again, 3 syllables is about my max. Can't go any further than that. Coming out of Tokyo, though, a facial robot covered with quote-unquote living skin made from human cells have been developed by a team of researchers from the University of Tokyo and other institutions. The device will apparently help elucidate the process of wrinkle formation and reduce animal testing and cosmetics and drug development. Sure. Yeah, that's what they're going to use it for. The researchers even managed to develop a unique structure that mimics the way muscle movement is transmitted to the skin, enabling the robot to smile. I'm not going to show the video. Again, the picture is enough. But ultimately, what they did is they create this skin that now, according to the robot, will move its face and smile, and the skin will actually, like a human skin, move and wrinkle just like an actual human skin. They've never been able to do this with like the fake skin before. And so they now have this ability to strap this living skin onto a robot, and it can move and wrinkle just like a human's can. It's freaky. Previously, the team has also developed a finger-shaped robot covered with a similar skin. Shoji Takuchi, professor of mechanical engineering at the University of Tokyo, said, in the future, we would like to integrate the skin with functions such as nerves and blood vessels. Think about that. Nerves and blood vessels with a robot that moves using muscles made from muscle cells to make it more human-like. Now, they want to start putting all this stuff to make it as living and as natural as possible, so you can't really tell if it's fake or real. Now, I've done some stuff in the past. I've talked about this stuff in the past. We're going to take a look at this again. About a year ago, they made self-healing skin, or the next step of it. Self-healing skin has been around since about 2012. But they made the next step of it. And so if you start combining that with living skin like they've got here, you're entering into territory that's, again, you're starting to get into Terminator level type stuff. So if we take a look, Terminator style synthetic covering for robots mimics human skins and heals itself. And so you can see the picture there where it was cut, the skin was cut, and then the actual skin stuff, the synthetic skin, actually morphed itself back together and healed itself. And Express Kimberly says, why nerves? So it can feel. We're going to get to that in just a second. Yes, they're actually going for it. So coming out of Stanford, California, if you've seen the Terminator movies, you probably remember the terrifying robots that could repair themselves from gruesome injuries. Now, real-life scientists have developed a synthetic skin for robots that heals itself and possesses a human-like sense of touch. What does that mean? It can feel heat. It can actually feel heat. It can feel touch. It can sense when something is touching it, and it can actually heal itself. Researchers say this material could potentially make people more comfortable with artificial intelligence in homes and workplaces. See what I mean? They are planning on sticking this on AI robotics. It may also contribute to the development of more realistic humanoid robots. We've achieved what we believe to be the first demonstration of a multi-layer thin film sensor that automatically realigns during healing. PhD candidate Chris Cooper says this is a critical step towards mimicking human skin, which has multiple layers that all reassemble correctly during the healing process. Why on earth do they need to develop all of this technology to make robots and skin and AI as so close to humans if they don't plan on actually developing synthetic humans? That's my question, because whenever I bring up the synthetic human thing, people say that I've lost my mind and you have no idea what I'm talking about. Why would they be developing this stuff if they don't plan on using it for that? That's my whole outlook on this. She suggests that these developments could also revolutionize warfare. This is a big one here. Pay attention to this. She suggests that these developments could also revolutionize warfare with the deployment of indestructible robots. The next step for the team include making the synthetic skin layers as thin as possible and of varying function. The current prototype was designed to sense pressure, but additional layers could potentially sense changes in temperature or strain. Future applications could even include robots that self-assemble inside the body for non-invasive medical treatments, or multi-sensory self-healing electronic skins that give robots a sense of touch. You guys get that? The researchers say that long-term vision is to create devices that can recover from extreme damage autonomously. Robots that can self-assemble, even ones inside of a human body. But what do I know? I'm just crazy lunatic, apparently. But if that's not enough, having robots with living tissue along with the ability to feel pain through sensors underneath. Express Kimberly, I told you I was going to go along with this. They've been working on it. They want to put actual neural pathways throughout the robotics in order to feel pain, touch, heat, and react to it. They want to make it so these robots will react. So if you punch a robot, it will quote unquote feel the pain and react more human-like to it. They're absolutely doing it. Absolutely doing it. It's bananas. It's bananas. So I guess the question is, when, if we're here, when do we get to the point of, do we question if we're actually talking to man or robot anymore? Again, if they're allowing us to see this stuff now, something tells me they've got stuff behind the curtain that's already ahead of this. Already ahead. Jeez, man. It's crazy. Let's see here. Linda, how do I keep my cat from sneaking onto my computer while I'm at work? I don't know. A little less catnip? Hide the catnip? I don't know. I don't have a cat, so I can't answer that question, Linda. Can't answer that question. Let's see here. See, Steel Magnolia, why are they trying to make synthetic humans if they are also trying to depopulate the world? Because synthetic humans are the perfect slaves that will never revolt, don't require food or water or any of that type of stuff. And so we see that they're using AI to replace actors and musicians and artists and all these other people. Well, soon enough, if you have these people that are more lifelike in humans, then you can reduce the numbers and allow these perfect slaves, these perfect robots to come into place. It's kind of, again, kind of like Blade Runner, where they mixed in synthetics with humans to live in a world where even the synthetic humans, the synths, have no idea they're robots. They've actually created them to not know that they're a robot. And so when they find out then they find out. And so there's a lot of that stuff. Then you can start getting into the supernatural realm of stuff like that. Could they be preparing, bodies for these demons to be taking over or something like that? So there's different things out there about why they would want to do it. In my opinion, though, it's the perfect slaves. It's the perfect slaves because it costs them nothing and just keeps it rolling. Let's see, Kelly. Is there any surveillance systems that you can actually trust for your house if like erased every day? Classic VHS tapes. Honestly, as ridiculous as it sounds, anything that connects to a network, they've got it. So yeah, your classic VHS tapes. That's probably the best way. Let's see. Paul Hindelt. Let's see. Would be hard to mimic the human soul. Yeah, well, I think that's a benefit for them. Their souls are already hardened and destined for darkness. So why not have a whole world filled with robots and synthetic people that don't have them? So yeah, could this be a tool for demons to use? It quite possibly could be. Possibly could be. All right. Let's move on to this next part. This part is interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's take a look at this. So there's a new system coming out to play, and it's basically it is imperceptible to the wearer, which means you have no idea that it's actually on you unless you look at it. That means it doesn't interfere with touch. You can't feel that it's on you or anything like that. And it's made from electronic spider silk. This is very, very curious. So imperceptible sensors made from electronic spider silk can be printed directly on human skin. And you can kind of see the little band that the guy's got on his finger there. And yeah, you can see imperceptible augmentation of living systems with organic bioelectronic fibers. That's the actual research paper. Again, 3 syllables or less. So let's go ahead and use the for dummies version, shall we? It says researchers have developed a method to make adaptive and eco-friendly sensors that can be directly and imperceptibly printed onto a wide range of biological surfaces, whether that's a finger or a flower petal. The method, developed by researchers from the University of Cambridge, takes its inspiration from spider silk, which can conform and stick to a range of surfaces. These spider silks also incorporate bioelectronics so that different sensing capabilities can be added to the web. What a web we weave. The fibers, at least 50 times smaller than a human hair, are so lightweight that the researchers printed them directly onto the fluffy seed head of a dandelion. Everybody knows what those are, without collapsing its structure. When printed on human skin, the fiber sensors conform to the skin and expose the sweat pores, so the wearer doesn't detect their presence. Don't even know it's on you. Tests of the fibers printed onto a human finger suggest that they could be used as continuous health monitors. This low-waste, low-emission method for augmenting living structures could be used in a range of fields, from healthcare and virtual reality to electronic textiles and environmental monitoring. The results are reported in the journal Nature Electronics. Keep going. It says, although human skin is remarkably sensitive, augmenting it with electronic sensors could fundamentally change how we interact with the world around us. For example, sensors printed directly onto the skin could be used for continuous health monitoring, for understanding skin sensations. We were just talking about how they're trying to make living skin have that feel. Could this be used for that? Or could improve the sensation of reality in gaming or virtual reality applications. Well, and keep in mind, virtual reality applications, they're working on it so people won't know if they're living in the real world or the virtual world. Keep that in mind. While wearable technologies with embedded sensors such as smartwatches are widely available, these devices can be uncomfortable, obtrusive, and can inhibit the skin's intrinsic sensations. The researchers spun their bioelectronic spider silk from conducting polymer. High Whoa, here we go. My internet's going bonkers right now. Sorry. Can you guys still see me? Still hear me? My internet's just going bananas. Hello? Can you guys hear me? Check, check, check. Check. Okay. Yeah, my internet just dropped out for a second. We still good? Okay. I have no idea where we left off. I have absolutely no idea what part we missed. Just right in the middle here. Okay. Well, we're back. Yeah, okay. I know we're at the spider web, but I don't know what part we may have missed on here. Okay, so I'll just go right here because this is important. The researchers then designed an orbital spinning approach to allow fibers to morph to living surfaces, even down to microstructures such as fingerprints. So basically, this stuff can go on your finger and not interfere with your fingerprint. So you can still have it on there and still register your fingerprint wherever you're putting it down. All right. And last on this, it says the researchers say their devices could be used in applications from health monitoring and virtual reality to precision agriculture and environmental monitoring in the future. Now, here's a big one. In the future, other functional materials could be incorporated into this fiber printing method to build integrated fiber sensors for augmenting the living systems with display, computation, and energy conversion functions. Display, computations, and energy conversion functions. This opens up a lot. Let's just say this opens up a lot. We'll talk about some of the stuff that this could actually be used for. I want to show you this video though that takes you through how it works and stuff. You guys got to check this out. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of things to pay attention here. First of all, in the video, it shows that they printed this stuff on an early chicken embryo. So they can put this stuff on people from within the mother's womb at this point. That's just not okay. The other thing, this is part of the Internet of Bodies stuff, but in more ways than one. You look at this, there's somebody who needs some information regarding you or something like that. They just have it on their finger. They're able to, just by having their hand or their finger, wherever that stuff is on a person, they're able to get the same information that they're getting from you from that person that you have the finger on. And so you're starting to do that. This is the Internet of Bodies, connecting people to the network through this type of stuff that they're able to read this stuff. Then you've got the monitoring of the body. which again is key. Talking about virtual world and stuff, digital twins, having this stuff be able to monitor stuff going on in the body just by having that on the skin, which you may not even be able to feel or anything like that. So it's continuous monitoring of people's health and heartbeats and sensors. Again, you can go and touch somebody else and get theirs from that as well. Then there's they talk about the possible connection to computers. If you start having this stuff that's connected to computers and you can use it for that stuff. I've shown videos in the past where people have these things that you can put into your fingers. And so you can type the air and move things with your fingers in order to do things on a computer in front of you. We've seen some stuff in the science fiction realm regarding that stuff, but they're absolutely doing it now with this. Then the big one, though, that I see is it talks about energy conversion. And I've talked about how in 6G, they're talking about how you can take a copper wire and use it as a bracelet to power electronics. Could they take that same technology and put it into something like this in order to use it to power? Because that's always the question that I see whenever we see they're trying to move things. Okay, everything's going to digital and electronics, but they can't even power what they have now. How are they going to do that in the future? They're working on turning humans into batteries to power this stuff. And so could this be some element to making that happen in a non-invasive way? That's something to keep in mind for that. I know a lot of people, their first instinct on this might be going, well, that could be the mark of the beast. I don't think it would be because I've looked at the Greek of the mark of the beast and it's supposed to be in and on. This isn't something that goes in the body. It goes on the body. So this could maybe be connected to it or be used in some type of way for it. But this itself, I don't see matching what the Bible says will be the mark of the beast. So this is some type of technology that maybe will be used for it or something else. Either way, it's not good. It's not good to say the least. So hopefully my internet is still holding. Still just got a couple things to go over there. Let's see here. Question, but no name, says, what time is the new show tomorrow? It'll be released at noon Central. It's not a live stream or anything like that. It'll just be a video that goes out, and that'll be noon Central tomorrow. Vindog, can you make sure that he sends me the article on the spider? I will. I'll do that, Vindog. I'll make sure you get that. Okay, got just a couple more things here. Just a couple more, and then we're done. So, all right, let's take a look with some food because, we love our food here. So let's take a look at some food. Specifically, another meat alternative because they just can't give this up, guys. They can't give this up. So the Better Meat Co. receives a GRAS no questions letter from the FDA for Rhiza mycoprotein. So mycoprotein or mycoprotein, however you want to pronounce that, is basically trying to reproduce meat-like products from fungi and stuff like that. And isn't it great that they continue to try and replace meat? The Better Meat Co. has received no questions letter from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration in response to its determination that its Rhiza mycoprotein is generally recognized as safe. You notice how they can never declare it actually safe? They just go, it's generally recognized as safe. The FDA letter is the first to cover a meat-replacing mycoprotein strain outside of the Fusarium genus. Why do they got to make it so complicated? It says it is the first to include a U.S. Department of Agriculture evaluation of mycoprotein as meat enhancer. Just anything has to do with enhancing is just pumping it with stuff that shouldn't be there. That's the problem. Meats enhanced with Rhiza mycoprotein have not only have dramatically superior yields after cooking along with improved texture, but they also have substantially less saturated fat, cholesterol, and calories while boasting more fiber and potassium. And it says Better Meats Co. currently supplies NorCal restaurants with risa-based steaks, carne asada, and foie gras, something like that, from its plant in Sacramento. However, they're looking to try and grow, but they're not getting there. Other companies growing fungi via biomass fermentation include industry pioneer Corn, Enough Foods in the Netherlands, Anifer in Finland, Infinite Roots and Nosh Bio in Germany, Nature's Find and Meaty Foods in the US, Myco Technology in Oman, Myco's Sure in South Africa, Maya Farms in Canada, and those are complemented by players such as MyForest and Mush Foods, which are growing fungi via solid state fermentation. And we can see a restaurant in Sacramento here. Of course, it's Buddha Belly. It has to be Buddha, which is talking about their new thing. So I just wanted to make you aware. I don't have any extravagant information on it or anything. I just wanted to make you guys aware. If you start seeing these brands and you start seeing those names, that's something probably to stay away from, because it's some type of altered meat substance that's not actually meat. And so I just wanted to make everybody aware of that stuff, just so everybody, when you're going grocery shopping, it's already enough landmines, but we got more landmines. And when you start going to restaurants, be careful of what you see them serving, what type of stuff that they're serving out there. This falls just right in line with 1 Timothy 4, though, when it's talking about abstaining from foods fit for human consumption and meat and stuff like that. This is fully on board with what they're trying to do. So just wanted to throw that in there. All right, last but not least, this is the big one. I think everybody should be aware of this, in my opinion. And of course, I had to bury it at the end because, I don't want to get hit for anything. I shouldn't, but you just never know. But we have 2 bird flu summits coming up in October. 2 in October. Why is there so many bird flu summits all coming together in October? Very interesting. And so I wanted to make you guys aware of what's going on. So the first one is actually in my old town of Fayetteville, Arkansas. It's at the University of Arkansas. Curious. This is the International Avian Influenza and One Health Emerging Issues Summit. One Health. Always pay attention. Always pay attention to that term. It says the Center of Excellence for Poultry Science at the University of Arkansas is proud to present the International Avian Flu and One Health Emerging Issues Summit. The hybrid event will be hosted in Fayetteville, Arkansas, September 30th through October 3rd. So what is the International Avian Influenza One Health Emerging Summit? Since January of 2022, multiple HPAI viruses have infected tens of millions of wild birds, commercial poultry flocks, and more than 24 species of terrestrial and marine mammals worldwide. This bird flu panzootic has been spread across Africa, Asia, and the Americas, Australia, Europe, and even into Antarctica. That is why we decided to modify the scope of the summit this year. The first day will be to cover the influenza, the avian influenza, and commercial poultry, which talks directly to poultry veterinarians. And so it goes on. It says this year we are including emerging issues to cover other important economic diseases affecting commercial poultry, swine, cattle, bees, and humans as one health. Great. Some of the topics, if you can go and check out all the topics if you want to, but some that stood out to me: the looming threat of a new influenza pandemic, EU legislation on AI stuff. You can see it there. And participation in a panel discussing the zoning and compartmentalization. There we go. Again, 3 syllables, people. Exploring the potential of artificial intelligence in feed formulation to advance poultry health and One Health, and an integration of One Health into community development programs. It just keeps on rolling with this bird flu thing. So we got that one, but then there's another one coming out at the same time in Washington, D.C. This one is interesting. This is the International Bird Flu Summit, Washington, D.C., October 2nd through 3rd, with a workshop on the 4th. Yeah, here we go. It says, welcome to the International Bird Flu Summit, where we address the pressing concerns surrounding the recent development in avian influenza with the emergence of a high virulent strain of bird flu affecting both cattle and humans. It is imperative that we come together to discuss preparedness, response strategies, and the future implications of this evolving situation. Topics include, here we go. Keep in mind, this is for birds, cattle, and humans. Topics include mass fatality management planning, surveillance and data management, preparing community strategies, local partnership and participation, delivery of stuff and antiviral medication, medical countermeasures, socioeconomic impact on poultry and livestock industries, benefit risk assessment, public health, industry and regulatory perspectives, prevention, education efforts and risk communication, command, control and management, emergency response management, business-based planning, school-based planning, and community-based planning. Let's take a look at some of their sessions. Mass fatality management planning. Development and maintain plans, procedures, programs, and systems. Develop and implement training and exercise programs. Direct fatality management tactical operations. Activate fatality management operations. Conduct morgue operations. Guys, this isn't about cattle or birds. This is about people. Emergency management services, breakout session number 4 here. Prioritizing antivirals and personal protective equipment for essential workforce. Overcoming reduced response capacity and staffing issues. Protecting emergency response operation centers. Managing supply chain interruptions and establishing stockpiles. Handling panic and maintaining public order. Oh boy, it just keeps going. Session 5, law enforcement agencies, ensuring law enforcement personal health and safety, safeguarding stuff and essential goods delivery, managing surge in crime during pandemic, controlling social unrest and public disorder, implementing isolation measures in correctional facilities. None of this has anything to do with animals. This one, though. Concurrent breakout session number 4, first responders, the fire department, protecting fire department personnel and health safety, transitioning into all hazards incident management responders, conducting mass stuff efforts, enforcing quarantine measures effectively. Man, guys, they're having another meeting about this bird flu stuff, but it's for people. This has nothing to do with animals. Now, they have other sessions for animals, but this stuff is directly for people. Like, what on earth is going on? Last but not least, you can see at the end, they have the lovely picture of a person getting the stuff. Breakout session number 11. Global influenza surveillance networks and delivery of stuff and antiviral medication. Current and emerging approaches in stuff development, advancements in avian influenza stuff strategies, stuff optimization and equitable access, strengthening antiviral medication distribution systems, enhancing global surveillance networks for timely response. And then they have an entire section here, how to improve your risk communication and emergent and community engagement, and how to effectively counter mis and disinformation. All this stuff includes things like restoring trust in health sectors, readiness for testing, improving communication channels, talking about fact-checking and debunking, monitoring and response to misinformation, all of this stuff. Utilizing digital platforms and social media channels. Guys, this is a replay of what they were discussing at Crimson Contagion and Event 201. This is exactly a replay. You can go and look through those documents. It reads exactly the same. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's actually going to happen. I'm not going to, because we don't know. We've seen stuff that they've tested that we for sure thought was going to happen, and it didn't. but they seem to be doing the same exact playbook that they did for the other ones. So I wanted people to be aware of this. My personal opinion, I think this bird flu thing is a giant sham with what they're doing with it. It's a giant sham. But that doesn't mean that they're not using it to move things into place that they need to for upcoming events. Right now, there's so many things that all could pop off all at the same time, literally all at the same time. Whether it's health, war, politics, anything, it can all just go south at the same time. And so, again, this isn't about freaking anybody out. This is about making sure people are aware. Specifically, the bookends of this stuff, the cybercrime treaty and that summit, I think, are things that we need to keep eyes on, because those are extremely important. And they just happen to be cruising under the radar because everybody's looking. Everybody and their mother and their cats are all looking in one area, trying to find the tiniest little detail. And all this stuff's just flying under the radar. To be fair, this UN cybercrime thing has been flying under the radar for several years, and nobody seems to have any idea about what's going on with that. It's absolutely nuts. Okay. Let's see. Chrissy C. Patton. Do you think that they are planning to drop that stuff in the air like chemtrails? What stuff? That bird flu? I mean, they're putting stuff in that stuff all over the place. Who knows, honestly, what they're putting in those trails? We're all breathing toxins and poison and stuff like that all the time. It's crazy. Stephanie, what are we going to do with you? What are we going to do with you? If your husband can hear me right now, tell him to give you that look again. Stephanie says, how do you properly say Worcestershire sauce? Worcestershire. Nobody can pronounce that right. Not even the person who made it. That's just one of those words that there is no correct pronunciation. However you say it is the correct pronunciation, in my opinion. I think that is one of those. That's one of those words that's just, there's no correct way to do it, in my opinion. So, all right, guys, that's pretty much all I got for you. A lot of stuff to cover and everything. So what we're going to do, though, is we always end with the gospel of Jesus Christ, the most important part of why we do this. And again, knowing all this stuff means nothing, absolutely nothing, if we don't have Jesus Christ. You know, there's so many people that their entire hope is in trying to overturn, fight back, and protest this stuff, realizing that, well, we have the Bible, the Word of God, that tells us that it ain't going to happen. And all the classic saying, you know, resistance is futile type of thing. It honestly is at this point. The only hope that we have is through Jesus Christ. And it always saddens me when I see people who aren't Christian, who they're just fighting tooth and nail because that's all that they have to fight for. And it's unfortunate that I see so many Christians that have the same thing, where they dedicate their entire life to try and protest this stuff, realizing that they're fighting against something that has to happen. And they just can't take their eyes off the world. They can't take their grip off the world. They say that their hope is in Jesus, but ultimately their hope is in trying to overturn something that they just can't overturn. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Now, a lot of people take my words and they say, they twist it and go, oh, you're just telling people to go lay down and die and stuff. I'm not saying that. My whole thing is I'm just pointing out that if that's all you have and you've dedicated your entire life to do that, and you've pushed people away from your life that you had an opportunity to share the gospel with, but you were more interested in shoving resistance and politics and all that stuff into people's faces, then you've got the wrong mentality. Your compass is pointed in the wrong direction. And I see it all over the place. And what's sad is those are the same people that are deceived because they don't believe that that's what they're doing. when ultimately that is what they're doing. It's fascinating. Not in a good way, but it's interesting to see how that works. How so often we reference Matthew 24 when he says, "Do not be deceived." But yet some of the most deceived people are the ones that repeat that word or that verse more often than others. And I'm not saying I have it all figured out. I'm definitely not saying that. I've been fooled more times than I can count. I'm probably fooled now by a lot of things. But I know what I do have, and that is a solid grip on Jesus Christ and absolutely no grip left on this world. And I'm okay with that. But we got to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. That is what we need to do. And it's so simple. It's so simple. Nothing complicated. Simple as ABC. A is you admit that you're a sinner. The admittance of sin. Repentance, the changing of mind of self to Jesus. In order to truly believe in Jesus, you have to understand why you need Jesus. Because if you don't understand why you need Jesus, you don't believe that you need Jesus to save you, then why on earth would you believe in him as your savior? So repentance grants that. Changing from self to Jesus, realizing that you're a sinner and he is the only one that can save you. And so that allows B, belief, to truly believe in Jesus Christ. You believe that Jesus Christ is the one and only begotten Son of God, that he came down 100% man, 100% God, the God-man, the one and only. He lived the perfect, sinless life, the only one to do so. The perfect, sinless life, which allowed him, the only one, to be qualified to take our place upon the cross, to carry the sins of the world, and to die upon the cross. But because there's power in the blood of Jesus Christ, and just as he said he would, just as he prophesied, Jesus Christ defeated death and he rose again on the third day. For all who believe in him shall not perish, but live forever in his presence and in his glory. And see, as you call upon the Lord, just, Lord Jesus, I am a sinner, and I need you alone to save me, Lord Jesus. I believe that you are the one and only begotten Son of God. And I believe that you came down and lived the perfect sinless life, that you died upon the cross and that you rose again on the third day. Lord Jesus, forgive me of my sins. Come into my life, come into my heart, and save me. Amen. For all who believe in him shall not perish. Spend eternity with him. I'm looking forward to that day. I'm absolutely looking forward to that day, and I hope you are as well. And if you don't have that hope, today is the day to get it. And it's through Jesus Christ alone. Amen. All right, guys, that's all I got. Thank you for joining me today. Sorry I went over a little bit late and I had some internet issues there. That was weird. Just kind of gave out for a second. Glad it came back, though. Glad it didn't end. So, usual spiel, though. If you guys can, like, share, subscribe, get this out to as many people as you can. It's not about views, not about butts and seats, but it is about getting the warning out to people and getting people to Jesus. And liking, sharing, and subscribing does help with the algorithm and get it out there. Again, you know, all this stuff doesn't mean anything, but if we can use it to witness to people and get people to Jesus, then mission accomplished. So if you guys can do me a solid, that'd be great. Also follow me, Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram. Those are my backup channels. If I get booted off YouTube, I'll be back at live streaming on Rumble. Odyssey is an emergency platform there just in case things go very south. It's just there just in case. Nothing exclusive. You're not missing anything. But if you have an account, you might as well follow me there. And then I post updates, announcements, news things, and anything anything in between on Telegram. So if I'm taking a day off or something like that, I don't announce it. I post little things on there, funny things, news things, stuff like that. So make sure you guys follow me there. And then, of course, the WretchedWatchmen.com website is up and running. One-stop shop for, you know, if I'm not streaming and you don't know what's going on, head on over there. We're also live streaming there now. You will always find the latest podcast there and all that jazz. So make sure you guys bookmark that, save that if you have any questions. Tomorrow, noon Central, first episode of Showtime will be released. It's going to be a good one. If you're into predictive programming and that type of stuff, I'll be breaking down that stuff. So check that out when it comes out. What else we got? Below the Surface, 8 a.m. Central on Hope for Our Times. So go and check that out. We'll be talking about organoid intelligence. And then Saturday, Lord willing, we'll be starting the Psy War series. So good stuff. And if you guys want to support what I do have donation links down below: CashApp, Venmo, and Give, Send, Go. If you guys feel led to support this, my channel's not monetized. I don't make anything from ads or views or anything like that. It runs solely off of your guys' donations. So if you'd like to support me and allow me to keep going, those are below. And so that's all I got. And thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Share Jesus with somebody at least once this week. And Lord willing, I'll see you guys on Saturday. All right. Peace out and Maranatha.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.